Good evening and welcome to War Thunder's dev server version 1.98.0.40 in preparation for the upcoming patch War Thunder Starfighters. There's been a lot of changes since the previous dev server, so let's go through the changes real quick here. On the aviation side, America is getting two F-104s, an F-104A and an F-104C. The 104A is entirely configured for air superiority and with no ground pounding options available to it. The cannon does get you up to 53 millimeters of penetration for the various loadouts, and you can get two AIM-9Bs. This thing's actually a lot more agile than I expected, and I did fly it up to 18,000 meters for a little bit just for the fun of it. During the dive, I got it up to about 1.79 Mach before it started giving me a reduced speed warning. F-104C has got more of a ground pounding capability than the other one. You can carry up to three 750-pound bombs, 38 FFARs, two AIM-9Bs, a mix of AIM-9Bs and 750-pound bombs, and a mix of FFARs and AIM-9Bs. That gives you good loadouts that can be used in ground RB really nicely, or just to ground pound in air RB. That should be a lot of fun. As far as the stock information goes at this point in time, got a max speed of 2,317 kilometers per hour on the A, and same for the C. Now these numbers don't feel quite right to me, but that's gives you an idea what we're looking at. And that's at 15,240 meters. And with a maximum altitude of 16,000 meters. Now, like I said, I had it up to 18,000, and I was still able to climb and keep my speed at 18,000 meters. By the way, the curvature of the Earth looks really beautiful up at that altitude. They both have the same turn time of 34.7 seconds and a rate of climb of 216.5 meters per second. They're both listed as rank 10.0. So that gives you an idea of what's coming for the air tree in America. In Germany, we've got a few updates going on here. Number one is that the G91R4 has been moved to the premium side of the tree. Otherwise, as far as I know, no changes to its specifications or anything of the sort. And of course, they're getting an F-86K, an F-104G. F-86K is not any different than previously. Same AIM-9Bs and same other specifications as the other tech trees. The F-104G gets interesting in that it comes with a bunch of ordnance options here. We got 14 Hydra 70s, 2 AS-20 Nords, 4 AIM-9Bs, a mix of AIM-9Bs and Hydras, a mix of Nords, AS Nords and AIM-9Bs. Now this is for a couple of three 250 kilogram Matra bombs, three 500-pound bombs, three 750-pound bombs, three 1,000-pound bombs, and we've got options for AIM-9Bs, two of those, and a 250 kilogram bomb, them and one 500-pound bomb, them and one 750-pound bomb, and them two of those AIM-9Bs. And a 1,000-pound LDGP bomb. Now, I read that as 250. It is 250 kilograms. Mass is at 500 pounds. I wonder what the difference is between them. 118.8 kilogram explosive mass. 100 meters, 5 meters, 118. 100 meters, 5 meters, 119. So, technically, the 250 kilogram bombs are the better option. So that's the F-104 for Germany. Let's move on to the next step here. Great Britain is picking up a Phantom FG Mark I. I had a Major Britain player double check this for me earlier today. He says the difference between the FGR2 and the FG Mark I is nil. Such a small specification difference is to be a non-issue. As far as, let's see... Quick rundown of the ordnance options. I don't think that's any different. Yeah, it looks like they're the same ordnance options and everything. There's the stat card for the FG Mark I. And the stat card for the FGR2. Yeah, I'm not seeing hill of beans between them. They're really just identical. Japan's F-104J. They've messed up the B6N. Oh, they've added additional models of the B6N1, B6N2, and the B6N2 Model 12KO. I didn't realize these were here. They don't even list them on the patch notes. So we have 3 models of B6N, a Model 1, a Model 2, Model 12, sorry, a B6N2 Model 12, and a B6N2A Model 12KO. That'll be fun and interesting. And the F104J is going at 10.0 below the F4, sorry, above the F4EJ Phantom. So that kind of tells you where they're expecting it to end up being. See, ordnance options. Oh, A9Es on this one. Should be pretty good. Is the American ones also at 10.0? Yep. Worst missiles still at 10.0. Okay. All right, let's pep over to China here. They get their F104A and C. Sorry, A and G. The patch notes, I might add, say F104C, which is obviously an error because it doesn't match the dev blog. So the F104A is going to get for its modifications just a couple of AIM-9Bs, no surprise. And the F104G is going to get a variety of loadout options, just like the, well, not just like, it looks like there's a few things that are different here. I don't see the 250 kilogram bomb here at all, for instance. But otherwise, you're looking at fairly similar loadout options on the F104G. Okay, no changes to Italy. They're still getting their F104S. One change to Italy, though, I noticed, is if you listen carefully to the music.
Ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire. Se io muoio da partigiano, oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 se io muoio da partigiano.
I don't remember them having words in the songs for Italy before, so I thought that was pretty awesome. Caught me totally off guard, and I think it's beautiful. Beautiful music. Okay. No other changes than the Italian line. No changes to France. Okay, let's go to ground vehicles. Start over at the top. There is one change to the HSTVL. Before you were getting one round about every 5.5 seconds, but check this out. (1001), 1002, 1000, about one. And now we have to wait for the first order storage to be refilled. But doggone it, that's a lot of firepower to stick out there. And you don't have to wait to empty the magazine for it to start the reload process. These things are tremendously capable. Surprisingly so. Let's take a look over here at the specifications on the round. And I do need to turn down the volume some more, I can tell that. The XM885 is going to end up with 276 millimeters of pin at point blank range at 234 millimeters at 2,000 meters. I can tell you honestly, they feel more powerful than that. Now, of course, I've been shooting at dummy targets and they just feel more powerful than than I'm expecting. That said, these were high velocity, tremendously high velocity rounds. They should be doing a fair amount of damage. It's just more than I expected, and I'm delighted so far. I'm sure they're going to nerf that eventually. Okay, other changes. Swedish ground vehicles are now available for everybody to research. So, go to town. If you didn't get the tester stars, they're now available for you. See, the HMS York is in here, although I think it was already in the previous dev server. There it is. One HMS York with a 533 millimeters torpedoes. 8 that would be 2 times 3, 6 8-inch guns, 4 4-inch guns, 3 20 millimeters, and 2 that would be, let me correct that, 8 50 cals, and they should be able to do a tremendous amount of damage at these BRs. 5.3. I don't know, the armor, let's take a look at the armor real fast. I don't think there's any changes there, but you can expect that'll it'll be a victim of plunging fire, I'm sure. Okay, so that's naval. The Cursed Fire Arc map, I've enjoyed that. Some people are saying the spawn points are closer together. Not the spawn points, but the capture points are closer together. Not from anything I can see. They look like to be about the same distance apart. So the map is still the same exact size. It's just got a little bit more rolly terrain on the east side of it, and it's still flat as a pancake on the west side. So those who want to get into those really truly long range sniping fests, it's over there on the west side. And the sea cap is a lot more protected from sniper fire from B or either spawn. So that should be a good change for it. A lot more options for cover and maneuver. The Italy map, I took another look at it earlier today. Let's see. Jump over to custom battles. This is as good as lineup as any. Not Fire Arc. That's the wrong map. But I can give you a quick flyover of this one so you can see what it looks like now. The most interesting changes on Fire Arc are the addition of this bridge, which, by the way, does not completely go across to the other side of this, across this bridge. It's got a gap at the very end there. All this area has been converted into cliffs in front of the river. You can still drop into it at a couple of locations, which we'll pass over in just a moment. But by and large, it's been made a lot flatter, a lot less strong of an arc. It also means some of the sniping spots have been effectively neutralized, where people were using the edge of the river to do that. That said, you can still, there's a little ridge right there. You can get a small vehicle kind of behind it. These roadways are now actually railroads, and there's roadways, and they're all on slightly raised road beds. So that gives a bit of cover that kind of slices through the map. And over here on the west side, this is just as flat and just as open. I have not seen any changes, but I think a few of the dead tank models have been removed from this side of the map. Other than that, and just kind of generally gives it a little bit more cover, a little bit more options for maneuver, not just a wide open dinner plate that snipers just have a blast with. So you can snipe over here on the west side, and you can maneuver and cover over here on the east side, and there's traditional city city brawling right here in the middle. These buildings right here cover up some of the sight lines for that side and prevent the long range sniper duel from happening where you, except for I'm sure there's going to be gaps. While the buildings do look like they have no sides or anything up here, they actually do have sides and do cover visually these approaches. I suspect they can probably be knocked down with MG fire and you open up those sniping lanes. Not a lot of sessions here, so we'll just go ahead and make one. Change that to unlimited so I don't end up having something stupid happen. And apply. Let's switch to my US tree, which has got faster tanks. Ready, start. After playing a few battles on this earlier today, they have made some significant changes to the rocks on the outside of the town. There are definitely more rock formations. Some of them are taller to prevent sight lines and things like that. Although a few are tall enough that if you can find a way to get on top of them, you can snipe across the map. That said, at least it's not spawn-to-spawn sniping, which is a huge benefit. That said, if you let somebody get up there on the opposite team, it gets bad in a hurry. While there are some kind of layout changes in the town, and they've eliminated some of the ambush points, by and large, it's the exact same map. The overall layout is still the same. It's still the cap zones right up the middle of the town, and the exact same locations. You might be able to fire through some buildings more than that, just since there's some rubble or debris. And I think on the last update they added a little bit more spread to the destruction, so not just entirely focused on this side. For instance, you can see over here, there's destroyed buildings there that weren't there in the last dev server, and of course this whole side of the town is destroyed. These rock outcrops are I think a little taller maybe, but there's definitely more of them, and that makes a big difference. The biggest one is right, bring it around. This one right here, I was able to climb with an M1 Abrams, so that'll be where people try and crawl up there and snipe from. It's an improvement. The sight lines have been blocked off by buildings, a lot of them at least, that allowed the spawn-to-spawn sniping. There are still occasional spots where you can sneak it through, but it's not like, again, not from spawn. You got to watch out for what's going on. And that's kind of the quick summary of Campania. Okay, some changes and fixes for the missions. Alaska in battle mode. You remember how it used to have 2 spawns on the north end and only 1 on the south? That bug has been fixed. So that's a positive right there. The Corellia unnecessary respawn zones have been removed from the mission briefing. So they fixed the map on the mission briefing, basically. And finally, the one where you spawn in and you end up in the middle of a tree, they've eliminated that spawn point. Thank goodness. On Fulda, the size of the battle zone has been fixed in the mission briefing. So at least you're showing the briefing map properly. A lot of these changes have been direly needed, just because it gets confusing when the map that you're looking at the start is not the one you get when you spawn in. Conquest Poland, the positions of the capture points and respawn points have been fixed in the mission briefing. That's great for RB and SB. Conquest Vietnam, respawn points have been moved closer to the capture point in the RB and SB. Let's go take a look. That's Conquest. Okay, those look like the exact same spawn points I'm expecting normally. Let's check this again here. Respawn points have been moved closer to the capture point in the RB and SB. Ballistic battles. Unlimited respawns. Okay, apply. Ready, start. These are the exact same spawn points. I'm not sure what they're referring to then if it's not this. Okay, Conquest, Second Battle of El Alamein. Unnecessary respawn zones have been removed. Okay, what they're meaning is that they had more spawn points marked out than they originally needed. So they've removed some of those excess. And the capture zones have been enlarged. Apparently they've been really working over the Conquest mode stuff here. Now, as you'll recall, this capture point is the teeny tiny one next to that church building, right in the center of town. You can put a dinner plate on it, and it would probably cover the whole cap zone. Let's go just grab a plane so we can see what's going on. Oh, it is a little bit bigger. If you look there, you can see it's actually on the back side of the church and on the back side of those buildings. Okay, let's pop in there and see if I can get a closer look here. Yep, see how much larger it is? There's a lot more space. I would say it's almost double the original size. It doesn't look that much bigger, but you know that's a circle there. You know, it gets bigger in a hurry. Hey, great! That's awesome. That'll be a lot more fun to be able to sneak onto different sides of the church or capture it from different locations and not be quite so balled into one little inky-dinky spot. Conquest. Fields of Poland. Respawn points have been moved closer to the capture point in RB and SB. I suspect that's the same thing as the Vietnam map. We're not going to see anything. And the position of the capture points in the mission briefing has been fixed on Fields of Poland battle mode. Okay, Naval Domination Fuego Islands. The position of the respawn zone protection has been fixed. Okay, that's a good thing. Now let's check out the vehicle changes. T-10M, the fire rate of the cannon has been changed from 3.9 to 4 shots per minute. Minor change, but, you know, all to the good for the T-10M. Unfortunately, the Type 60 SPRG, let me pop over here and see which tanks we're talking about. This is the T-10M, which you've probably seen many times. You get into the 8.3, really 8.0 to 9.0 BR rating. And it's getting a slightly faster reload time. It says 4 shots per minute. That would mean a shot every 15. Oh, yeah, I have a stock crew, so, and it's not assigned to anybody. Okay. Japan, the Type 60 SPRG. There it is. Type 60 SPRG. It's a lot of fun to play. It's going to be a lot less fun with hull break involved because it means you're going to get hull break by anything. You already could get machine gunned to death. That's the reason why mine's covered in bushes right there at the that slot where the gunner can be shot through. And that doesn't help that much, believe me. The Leopard 2A5 and the Sturv 122. Leopard 2A5. This guy. The preset of the thermal image unit has been fixed. The gunner now uses the first generation thermal imager and the commander the second generation. Previously, both used the second generation thermal imager. Okay, so they changed the thermals on this tank and on the Swedish Sturv 122, which is basically the same thing. LVKV42, controlled suspension functionality has been added. So, LVKV42, there it is. At 5.0, what is this thing? It's got controllable suspension? Huh. The ability to turn in neutral gear has been added, good for its mobility. Armor thickness has been changed from 8 to 10 millimeters. Now you have slightly more not a protection. Okay. Good deal. Aircraft changes. Helicopters. The Tiger had HAP, UHT, A129, AH-64A, and A Patton. D, AH Mark I, AH-1Z, all received warning systems for all received warning systems for laser radar detection from laser rangefinders, target designators, and laser beam riding missile control systems. So they're going to see all the lasers. The KA 50 and 52 and the Mi-28N received their warning system for laser radar detection from laser rangefinders and target designators. Okay, great. Flight model changes. A4B, a bug which leads to incorrect maximum speed and climb values in the vehicle card has been fixed. Okay. KI-44, all modifications. The flight model has been completely updated according to the current capabilities of the physical model. The wings, fuselage, fins, and elevator and propeller blades have been recounted and refined. Japan. KI-44. Moments of inertia have been updated. I'm not even sure I remember flying this one. I mean, obviously I have it sometime. It's spaded. Okay. It feels a bit sluggish, I would say. It doesn't feel the kind of Japanese responsiveness I generally expect. So that's probably what they're saying, is it's basically made more realistic in that regard. The ME-163 and the J-8M1, a bug which leads to the aircraft to shift in releasing the landing ski, has been fixed. A bug causing slower acceleration at runway and takeoff by using a support trolley has been fixed. It is actually easier to take the ME-163 off of a runway now. Let's go jump over here. Always seemed like you'd be running right out to the end of the runway in order to get this thing off the runway. And sometimes you had to wait till you got off the end, sometimes where they had the little ridge off the end of the runway, you'd have to wait till that got done. Now the acceleration is very robust compared. And we'll just pop a little bit of flap right here, and okay, and there we go. Well over quite a bit sooner on the runway. So that's an improvement. Okay, and they did something similar for the J8M1.
No whisper target found.
All right, the Arado AR-234B2. A bug with difficulties while taking off of the aircraft with a full load have been fixed. Jet accelerators to facilitate takeoff have been added. There you go. Boosters. I don't remember having a whole lot of trouble taking this thing off of the runway, but then again, I didn't play it a whole lot in the last patch. I spaded it before then. And those jet accelerators actually have a lot of burn time.
Yeah. I'll do that. Also, I wouldn't know if the cable was turned off. So
Easy takeoff. Easy takeoff. Okay. F1M2 flight model has been completely updated. Seaworthiness has been improved. Okay, so, and there's a lot of things in there. Same thing as the other plane. So updating a flight model. Saab A21RB, a bug which led to increased parasitic resistance of the rocket launchers, has been fixed. A friend of mine who actually has the plane did report that it felt like that there was no change between when you had the rocket launchers on and off. So that, with that being fixed, he'll be delighted. A6M2N, seaworthiness has been improved. Controllability in water during takeoff and landing has been improved. Good. I-15, all modifications, flight model completely updated. Takeoff mode WEP has been added for the I-15, M22, and I-15K. TAL 152H, restriction on flap release and takeoff position, has been added according to the aircraft passport. Inertia of the propeller unit, start-stop of the propeller, has been clarified or reduced. High gain climb on the long-term engine mode 90% has been clarified or accelerated. Efficiency of the brakes has been improved. It now requires more careful use of brakes during takeoff and landing. Efficiency of the ailerons at extremely low speeds has been significantly reduced. Now, I don't think I have the TAL 152H. So it gets a whole mix of things on it. Kind of curious about the brakes more than anything else. Okay. Oh. I don't know, it didn't flop over or anything. Of course, I wasn't going very fast. And to be honest, since I'm in kilometers per hour, I really have very little feel for the numbers. I could tell you on an American plane in miles per hour exactly when I'd expect to see a warning about the gear coming down. But, so this is all kind of like, whoops, that's a little bit fast. Not my best landing. Okay, hard braking. I didn't see any problems with the brakes. Okay. Okay, Firefly Mark V, maximum fuel volume has been reduced. F4C gets its ballistic computer. F4E flight model has been updated for an earlier version without maneuvering slats. Maximum speed is increased. Stall speed has been increased. Wing sock animation has been fixed. F4EJ, maximum speed at medium altitude has been increased. Wing sock animation has been fixed. F4E, EJM, and FGR2 bomb CCRP site to randomly selected point on the ground or enemy base has been added. Great. KI-61, all modifications. KI-100, all modifications. KI-96, KI-102, complete flight model updates. IL-2 with AM-38F, all modification engines. A bug in the thermodynamics which leads to constant use of the forcage mode, or WEP, without limitations has been fixed, so no more perma-WEP. IL-2, the operation of the landing plates has been changed. Now at speeds above 260 kilometers per hour on the indicated airspeed, the plates cannot be released. At speeds below 245 kilometers per hour on IAS, the plates will be deflected to the required angles completely. Hunter, a bug which caused the air brakes being used when the chassis is released. Oh, yeah, so you can't use your air brakes and your gear at the same time. Now, if you will try to release the landing gear chassis while your air brake is turned on, the air brake will be switched off automatically, and the air brake cannot be released if your landing gear are released. P-51, dashboard lighting during the night flight has been corrected. Okay, now I'm curious. P-51, all modifications. Pick one, P-51H, test flight. Time of day, night. Okay. Hmm. That's pretty. I wonder what it looked like before. Looks like we got some dead light bulbs, though. I mean, look at that. Half this dashboard's not lit up. Part of it looks like it should be. It's almost like they painted it with glow-in-the-dark paint. I wonder if it changes when you get different positions for the light. Nope. Okay. Kind of odd how they cut it off like this, though. I mean, that seems like... that doesn't make sense to me. So that might need a bug report right there. Not sure what I'm looking at. Grab a screenshot of this. And I might save that for a bug report later. Let's check one of the other P-51s just to see what it looks like. I just noticed that they've detached the F-104s entirely from the rest of the American tech tree. Well, this one, the lights make no difference at all. Okay, so... not sure what they've done. All right, Naval, HMS Kent. The guidance angles for the 102mm cannon have been corrected. 37mm 6770K automatic cannon. Fire rate has been increased to a theoretically possible rate of 180 shots per minute. Technical characteristics of the weight and amount of explosive mass of the 25mm and 60 shell of the Type 96 automatic cannon have been fixed. Jaguar Class 140 F220 for the 40mm 70 Mel 58 launcher. The following shells have been changed. AP and HE shells have been removed. MDN 51 FT has been added. FT shell with radio fuse has been added. Game currency and RP for researched removed modifications have been returned to the account. 40mm Bofors Flak 28 cannon British HE shell has been changed to the German 40mm. And 283mm SPG RL4, 4 BDZ PB armor piercing has been corrected. Hull brake has been implemented in Naval. There's a lot there, so I'll just if there's basically at 100mm and higher, you're in danger of being hull broken, depending on the size of your ship. USS Helena CL-50 number of crew has been increased from 868 to 1188. Hey, here's the fun ones. MBT-70 BR in all game modes has been changed from 9.0 to 9.3. Okay, the Germans are going to be livid because that takes away their excuse for saying that the KPZ-70 should not be up-tiered to 9.3. So, welcome to the club. We're all going to be there at the same time. And the other one is the M1 Abrams, previously a 10.0 tank, has been dropped to 9.7. So, apparently it wasn't doing so well with that 105mm cannon. Okay, new game mechanics have been added. The target designation inside a squad. I can't test this, but it says you can specify a point on the surface through the third-person view, and it'll mark it for all your squad members. New mechanics for locating the last enemy have been added to Air RB. After 15 minutes from when the mission begins and only one player is left on the enemy team, it marks a sector on the map corresponding to the position of the last player for the opposing team. The indicator will be updated every 20 seconds. Invulnerability at the respawn point will be disabled when you use artillery strike. So you keep your invulnerability for the normal timer, but if you use your artillery, it's gone. That's an interesting change. In ground battles in RB game mode, the parameters of active scouting have been changed. Delay between successful uses from 10 to 6 seconds. delay between failed uses from 60 to 45 seconds, and the duration of the marker for the spotted enemy 30 to 45 seconds, so that it marks for longer and takes less time between resets. Spawn costs for ground RB. Automatic down, ADATs down, WZ305 up, M24, Chaffee, all modifications, and Nations up to 110. That's a surprise. PT-76B up, BMP-3 down, Object 685 down, Type 89 down, PT-76 down, Type 63-1 down, Type 62 down, ZBD-86 down, AMX-13FL11 down, IKV-91 down, STIRV 90C down, CV-90120 down, STIRV 74 down, CV-90105 TML down, STIRV M31 down a lot from 150 to 80, STIRV M38 also down from 150 to 80, and the HO229 version 3 has been dropped from 750 to 600 as the base respawn point costs for them. Sound. New sound events for all machine guns for ground vehicles and naval vessels have been created. New sound event for suspension of wheeled vehicles has been added. The dynamic sound system for wheels and tracks friction on surface, depending on its type, have been added for ground vehicles. And cursor control speed, now smoothing. These are just basic back-end bug fixes there. And that's kind of the patch notes. If you have any questions, feel free to just put a comment in the below this video, and we'll see if we can get an answer for you. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.